Hello again. Now, floods in KwaZulu-Natal have forced some families to seek refuge in schools. But with a long weekend now coming to an end, where will these families go to when pupils are set to return to school? We know, though, now that 630 schools will not be reopening tomorrow because they're too damaged, according to education authorities. This means thousands of pupils are going to be in limbo. Let's get the latest now on the ground with senior reporter Aviwe Mtila. Aviwe, good afternoon. You've been at various institutions in and around Durban. Tell us where you are this hour and what's happening there.
But then I'm outside the waterfall clinic, which falls in the western region of eThekwini, and currently it's closed. It's one of the 4 that I've seen on the lists, basically, that were just detailing whether the clinics are open or closed, and it's one of the 4 that's closed. We also understand that the Y Bank clinic, as well as the Kloof clinic and the Mpola clinic, are also closed in the western region. There are also those that are partially operational, which is the Westville clinic and just the Nagina clinic as well. The reasons vary in terms of why they're closed. Some of them are flooded, such as we are seeing at the Waterfall Clinic. Some of them have leakages. The others don't have electricity or water, and others are just over-flooded in terms of the entrances being blocked and closed because of the rubble that, of course, has emanated from the floods. The floods being the biggest headache that is engulfing KwaZulu-Natal at the moment. It doesn't stop there. There is that issue that you touched on as you introduced this story around the concerns in many schools. Some of them are currently housing those people that have been left destitute. We've been visiting a number of them on the ground, and their concerns as they now have to grapple with the Easter weekend coming to an end and schools reopening. So some of them have to be moved, but in conversation that I had with the deputy mayor, suggesting that they have a crisis and a lot of the schools won't be able to open because of that issue. Even the children that we were met with at some of these schools, they don't have uniform, they don't have the basics to attend school, which is becoming a headache in KwaZulu-Natal. One wonders if the president won't be touching on that issue that the premier was actually asking for just yesterday in declaring a national state of disaster because of the floods. But let's listen in on the deputy mayor, I beg your pardon, of eThekwini, that is Philani Mavundla.
I'm a very honest man. I'll tell you that we are not ready. Anyone that says ready, I would like to see how ready are we. The schools where I've been, where there are communities staying there, we haven't provided them an alternative accommodation. Therefore, we aren't ready. We are fully aware that our children need to be at school tomorrow. Therefore, something needs to be done very, very, very quick. How? We'll know by the time we reach the chalk this afternoon, where everything is being planned. But the people that I have seen, they are still at the school. We haven't provided anything yet.
Yeah, and most of those schools are damaged, as we know, Aviwe, and we've heard from education authorities. There's no way they're going to be opening from tomorrow. And I see that it's been raining on and off. Even in an earlier live crossing with Mobile Madlala was elsewhere as well on the ground in eThekwini. The rain is not stopping, and this makes the progress for rescue and search and rescue operations a little bit more difficult. It's not assisting at all.
It's going to be a bigger problem. That we were told in the interministerial briefing just earlier in the week in terms of the rain and how it will then dampen all the efforts basically in the ground. Not only just the search and rescue efforts, because we do understand the infrastructure in itself has been destroyed heavily by the floods. Just earlier on, we were in Kukumbini, a village just in eThekwini as well, not far from where we are. And the difficulty there is that there's only one road leading in and out. That road has been devastated by the floods, leaving the community and the village itself destitute, basically. So they don't have schools in the village itself. They don't have any shops. They're now struggling to get groceries in, as people from the other side have to buy their groceries, and there are good Samaritans in terms of the villages themselves that are now escorting those groceries and other essentials, even water, via a rope across that river. So it is a big problem, the rain coming back, as a lot of the infrastructure in itself when it comes to water and sanitation hasn't been assessed in its entirety. We do understand from the conversation I had earlier on with the Deputy Mayor that at least 80% of the pipelines and the water infrastructure has been destroyed, but it hasn't been quantified in terms of the cost that it will take to repair those, as the assessment hasn't been done. So this rain that we're seeing here, which has actually come quite strong in the last hour or so, is only adding to the burdens and the woes of the KwaZulu-Natal province. So it will something that they would hope it will clear up in order for even those rescue efforts to then continue. As we do understand, around 63 people officially are still missing and are still being looked for, and that's only the official number, given that there are areas that the government and these rescue teams can't even access at this stage.
Very much Aviwe Mtila there in the western part of eThekwini this hour.